Hi, and welcome to the Crochet Junkie podcast. My name is Amber. I have been crocheting for about 15 years. I am a new knitter and a new spinner. I've only been knitting for the past month. I tried to teach myself about a year ago, and I wasn't very good. There's a lot of videos online that teaches you the wrong way to knit. I was knitting in the back loop. I was twisting my stitches. It just was wrong. The knitted fabric didn't look like it was supposed to, which was very frustrating. So I put it down, put it on the back burner, didn't mess with it a lot for about a year. And then I finally decided about a month ago that I really wanted to get serious about learning. So I checked out a lot more videos on YouTube. I looked at a few foreign posts. I live in Texas. I've lived here all my life. I've moved here and there, different cities, all in Texas. I've traveled just to a few of the states, never abroad. It's something that I hope to do someday, but just never really had the opportunity as of yet. So, gosh, that was kind of random. Texas, yarn, knitting. Okay, back to, yes, I just learned the proper way to knit after watching some videos. There was a couple of ladies, I guess from Germany and different places in Europe that knit continental like me. I'm a crocheter, so naturally I want to hold the yarn in my left hand. And it's really hard to watch somebody throw the yarn with their right hand and try to knit the right way. So I found this Oma's knitting post or something. Some little old German lady really helped me a lot learn to knit. And so yes, I've been knitting about a month. I've been spinning probably just a few months longer than that. First I started on a drop spindle. That was very slow progress for me. I didn't really like it. It was kind of cumbersome to try to draft and park, and I wanted a wheel. I shopped around, looked around online about buying a used or an antique wheel and how to refurbish that. And my amazing husband, who is so supportive of my crafts, ended up buying me a brand new Louet Victoria 96. It's 95, sorry. No, I just said 96. That's right, it's 96. Louet Victoria S96. It's tiny. It folds up really small, which is nice because we're getting ready to downsize. Right now we live in, I joke and call it a McMansion because it's a very large house. But we rent where we are currently, and we purchased a house. It needed a lot of work, and so we're in the process of remodeling that house. Now my husband has since changed his mind, and we might not even live in that house. There's a house directly behind the house we purchased that is also for sale. And I think we are in the talks of buying that house. So it's all up in the air as of yet. I'm working on downsizing, so I got a tiny wheel that has its own little case. It folds up. Let me get it and show you because I'm so excited. This is my butt shot. Sorry about my butt shot. So see how small it is? And this is some yarn that I spun, some alpaca. And this is just after I had my wheel a day. So I need to get better with consistency and drafting and not overspinning and feeding the yarn and all of that fun stuff that you learn when you're using your wheel. I thought it was going to be easy. I thought I was just going to sit down and draft the yarn and it was just going to eat it and it was going to be great. It wasn't. So this is the foot, and it just pops out. It's kind of hard because it's new. And then you pop that. And then it just folds up. Isn't that amazing? And it has its own little travel case. Like I mentioned, its own little suitcase. I can take it to my local yarn store, which isn't that local. I'm pretty rural. I live about an hour and a half outside of Fort Worth, Dallas, Fort Worth. And so there's not a lot of places to buy yarn out here. The closest yarn shop is actually in Fort Worth. Oh no, let me fix this. Sorry, my scotch tension just kind of slipped off, and now it's messed up. Okay, let me put this back. And I mentioned this is a fiber podcast, lots of different, I love anything that involves yarn. So far I just crochet, knit, and now spin, but I would love to learn to embroider. I do own a sewing machine that I inherited from my grandmother. I'd love to learn how to use that. I think that it needs some work or adjustment. It's pretty old, so I haven't messed with it. It's kind of intimidating, and I have enough hobbies. Sorry. I have 3 dogs that are all right here, so they might get loud. My husband might come home. He works from home, but he goes to job sites a lot to speak with clients. Roger, no. And my girls are upstairs playing. We just got back from the beach, so hopefully they're going to sit up there for a while and play. And I won't be disturbed by the dogs or my husband or the kids. If I am, I guess I'll just record this at a different time. So this is my first yarn that I spun. It's just really, it's not very good. I got a drop spindle and some top from my local yarn store and just sort of played around with it. It's overspun. It's not that attractive. It's super chunky and thick. But it was a lot of fun to knit into this little dishcloth, and I'm going to do the same with these. And actually, this was a white top, and I dyed it. This I used, let me get these in order here so you can see them, all the colors. Okay, so the first one here, I used raspberries to dye it, and then this one I did with coffee grounds, and then this one on the end I did with blackberries. So it's a purpley color, beige color, and a red, pink kind of color. And I really enjoyed it, and so I bought a bunch of fleeces because I thought that I would enjoy taking fiber from an animal and processing it. I live royal because I like keeping animals. I hope one day to have my own fiber animals. Right now I have chickens. I really enjoy keeping my chickens. They're entertaining, they give me eggs. It's just a lot of fun to have a farm, like a little mini farm. And so someday I really hope to have sheep and alpaca, maybe even a llama. It just depends. I would love to own some fiber animals. I can't keep Angora rabbits here in Texas. I looked at getting rabbits. Sorry, Lucy, drop it. Leave it. She has a little tiny bone that she's been chewing on. I'm sorry. I should have picked all that stuff up so they wouldn't be bothering me. And here comes Bo, one of my dogs. Say hello. Okay, so, what was I saying? Y'all have distracted me. Go. Go lay down. Here's my mastiff. I'm just going to do this right quick because they're right here. This is Lucy. Go lay down. And Roger, I'm sure, will come over and get in my chair in just a minute because he likes to do that. Excuse me. He's a small rat terrier. I have a large King Corso. She's an Italian Mastiff. I have a medium dog. It's a black-mouthed cur. His name is Bo. Lucy is the Mastiff. And then I have a rat terrier that I inherited when my grandmother passed away. His name's Roger. Back to crocheting and spinning and knitting. More randomness. So yes, I got my wheel. I have some fleece. I have some Shetland fleece upstairs in my craft room. I don't know why I said upstairs. I should have said I had it. Sorry. I'm very nervous. Did I mention that? Super nervous. So let me just breathe for a second. Okay. Spinning. A little bit more spinning that I've done on my drop spindle was this alpaca. And this was actual fleece that I bought, and I had to card it, comb it. I had to comb it, then card it, then spin it, and ply it, all on my drop spindle. So it's not consistent, but it's pretty good, I think, for being done on a drop spindle and me being very new, very new to spinning. I thought that it was quite nice. What else? I have an embarrassing amount of UFOs. For those of you that do not know the lingo, unfinished objects. Before I move to those, let me show you my finished objects so you do know that I do finish things. Go lay down. So you know I can finish things, I do finish things. This, I say, is my first knitted hat. It's actually my second. The first one I knit, it's the Easy Peasy Newborn Sock Hat on Ravelry, there we go. And the first one I knit fit my 4-year-old's bitty baby. So it was not a newborn size. It was adult size. This one is much more newborn size. I really like the colors. It's just a sock yarn. I didn't save the labels. I promise to be better about saving the labels to my yarn. I'm pretty terrible about that, but now that I'm doing podcasts, that way if y'all want to know what yarn I used, I'll be able to tell you. Knitting Expat is one of the podcasters that I've been watching, and she's very, very organized and efficient, and she just amazes me with her organization. So I hope to take a leaf from her book and maybe be a bit more organized about this. This is as soon as I cast off that hat, I cast on this, I think it's called Baby Magic Troll Vest, Baby Newborn Magic Troll Vest, something like that. It's on Ravelry too. I still need to attach my 2 little buttons here in the corner. And the yarn I used was Truly Hooked, which is an indie dyer, and this is her My Little Pony colorway. It's really super soft, squishy merino wool. I used to, even just a year, 2 years ago, I used to think that there was no such thing as bad yarn, that I didn't understand how you could be a yarn snob. I love all yarn. All yarn is good yarn. There is no such thing as bad yarn. I've changed my mind. I have crocheted and knitted and spun enough to know I really don't like acrylic yarn. I'm uninspired by it. I have a lot of it in my stash. I have a few projects that I'm about to show you that I've made with acrylic yarn, but I would rather work with natural fibers. I would rather work with wool or cotton or alpaca. I really dislike crocheting with acrylic. That said, let me show you a couple more things that I have finished. This cardigan is actually a couple months old. I made it over the winter, I think, right before winter, maybe in the fall. And I used the chevron cardigan. I can't remember what this pattern's called. It's on my Ravelry. I think it's called the chevron cardigan. And I just loved working on this. The yarn I got at Hobby Lobby, and it has sequins in it. And it's a wool acrylic blend, and it's self-striping. And once I started this, I didn't really work on anything else, and that's not like me. I have ADD when it comes to my projects, and I'll work on something for a while, I'll put it down, come back to it. This, I pretty much crocheted on this solid until it was done, and it took me about 2 weeks to do it. And I love it, I really do. It's nice and warm without being sweltering. I like to take little cardigans and stuff out with me when we go out to eat because I'm very cold-natured. It's always ridiculously hot outside. I mentioned I live in Texas. It's been mild this year. We've had record rain the past month of May, so it's been quite cool. But most of the time it's pretty hot. And the restaurants all have their air conditioners as cold as they'll go. And I freeze, and so I like to have a wide variety of cardigans to take with me, and I love this one. I get compliments on it every single time I wear it. And this is something else that I have finished. I made this a couple months ago too, and I actually entered it into my county fair and won first place. It is my ring snagged it, and when I pulled it out of the closet, snagged the ribbon. It is a crochet dress, and this is super thin, zero yarn, so it's like thread, basically. It's Neuro yarn, and I got the pattern from Interweave Crochet, the summer 2014 issue, and it's on Ravelry too, the Sundance dress. So there's the model, and here's mine. And it looks fantastic on. I absolutely adore it. I can't wait to go to some festivals this summer so I can wear it. I did have to adjust the pattern pretty severely. I had to rip out several rows of the bodice. I'm fairly thin and long, so I had to lengthen the skirt and shorten the bodice so it would fit my frame. That's one of the reasons why I love making my own sweaters so much, is because the sleeve is going to be long enough, and it's not, like up here. I have sweaters, seriously, that are just ridiculous with how short the sleeves are. So it's quite nice to be able to make something for yourself that fits you. I'm sorry I keep on moving so much. I know that makes a lot of y'all kind of sick or seasick. I've read a lot of comments on other podcasters, so I would have a better understanding of what not to do or what people liked, and I'm probably doing it all wrong. But that's okay. We'll learn as we go along. That's what I do with everything else. So some of the things that I've worked on, some of my embarrassing UFOs, unfinished objects. I have too many. This is one of them. I had a friend contact me, a Facebook friend, or high school friend contact me on Facebook asking me to make, she sent me a picture of this blanket. And I had it pinned on Pinterest, these little molly flowers. I should mention, that should have been in the intro. I can be found on Instagram and Facebook as Crochet Junkie, and on Ravelry as Crochet Junkie with the number 6 after it. I'm sorry that I did not mention that in the introduction. Anyway, she Facebooked me, asked me to make her this. I told her absolutely, it's something that I'd been wanting to make anyway. I priced it out for her and told her she could just pay me for the supplies so I could get started. I priced it using acrylic yarn. It's Vanna Choice baby yarn, so it's not that bad as far as acrylic goes. It's kind of soft, but I don't know. All of these are made individually and then sewn together. So here's the back. They're flat, but it's like 3D, very thick blanket, very thick. And that was a year ago. So I eventually messaged her back and said, I'm going to have to refund you. This thing has been sitting in my craft room. I am filled with anxiety every time I walk past it. I am uninspired by it. I am sorry, but I just can't. If I ever finish it, I promise I will sell it to you. And she said no problem, but I feel like a horrible person because I never finished this. I did start another motif blanket while I was working on that one because I got bored, and I again have a Pinterest blanket pinned on Pinterest that was yellow and gray, and I just loved those colors together, and I thought that I would do one, but I didn't like that it was a granny square, and I kind of wanted to do something different, so I got this pattern from Be Hooked Crochet, the little sunburst. And I put this blanket down in the middle of working on it, picked it back up, realized some of these are not like the others. So you can see right here, nope, I grabbed the wrong one. Right here in the center, there is the single crochet or the loop, and then 10 single crochets around, and then you start your little puff. And then these aren't like that. This one is, this one isn't. And it's hit or miss on how many of them are like that and how many are not. And I didn't notice until I had all of the motifs made and I was stitching it together. And I just said, forget it. It's fine. If people notice, I don't think that it's ugly mistake. Sure, it's different, but oh well. And it's, you know, I don't think that it's that noticeable. I don't know, I have to figure out the camera angles better so I don't keep doing that. There you go. I really like it. It's really soft. I made it in an acrylic yarn. It's a baby sport weight, which I'd never worked with a sport weight before, and I really, really like it. I think I used Lion Brand on the yellow and Patton's on the gray, but they were both sport weight baby yarn. So it worked out very nice. I'm very happy with that. And I also started 2 other motif blankets around the same time. Now, sorry about the rustling. I know I have a friend on Instagram, Busy Crochet, and she did this gorgeous African flower motif blanket. And I mean, she did hers throw size. It was massive. And I started a bunch of these. These colors are not showing up very well. It's a very rich purple and like a light green, not aqua green. I'm not very good at naming colors. But I did a bunch of these, and my daughter wanted a shrug, my 9-year-old, so I made her one. She's never worn it. Why do I make her things? I don't know. So I still have 5 of these, and I was thinking about making some more and doing like a little pillow for my craft chair. I have this pillow that's kind of old, stained on one side, it's got like paint stains. So I thought a nice little pillowcase, maybe? Wouldn't that look cute? My craft chair's green, so I think it would make a really nice accent for that. I also started someone on the Crochet Facebook page. There's a couple of them. I think I'm just on one that says Crochet or something. Posted a picture of these beautiful sunflowers and asked if anybody had a pattern available. And no one had any pattern, but just based off the picture, I managed to make this. So I'm going to hold it up for a second so you can see maybe what I did. I'm not a pattern writer. I can look at things and I can make them based off of what I see, but as far as writing what I do down, it doesn't make any sense. I've tried, and I'm not a pattern writer. I can read patterns, I can follow patterns, I cannot write my own. So that, oh, I'm so sorry, I kicked the table. The sunflower, I think I'm going to make into a table runner for my dining table. I think it'll be really nice. I was going to make a blanket, but I don't have enough of the yarn. The center yarn has actually been discontinued, and I only have a tiny little amount, and I think that I would only have to make about 25 of these for my table runner, and I already have 5, so 20 more, and I think I have enough of, maybe I have enough of that yarn to be able to finish it. And I don't carry a purse. I'm sorry, I keep on looking up. It's really distracting, and I'm sure that it annoys some of y'all. I don't carry a purse, but I wear a lot of skirts and things in the summer, and I like to have my phone and my money and my keys handy, so I carry around this little cotton bag. And I don't have a pattern. I made this up. It's just a crocodile stitch, and then I single crocheted or maybe half double crocheted them together. So I made myself, that one's kind of looking ratty. I've had it a few years. I made another one using yellow so it would look more like a pineapple, and I haven't finished it because I need the green on top that makes the strap and the top. So maybe you can see better what I did here. And so there's 2 at the bottom, there's 2 of the crocodile stitches, and then 3, and then 2, and then 3, and then 2, and then 3, and then 2. And then at the top you just do the green the same, so you continue the crocodile stitch. So if you're a proficient crocheter, you could probably figure out how to do that on your own without a pattern. And I also made, back to some finished objects, that purple hat I showed you. This purple hat is for a friend of mine who is due in September with a little baby girl. And they actually own chickens too, and Toft Yarn came up with this chicken pattern right around Easter. And when I went upstairs into my yarn room to look at what yarn I had, I was going to grab some yellow yarn for a little Easter chick, I saw this. And if you go to my Instagram and scroll down, you will see their chicken looks just like this. I mean, the same little golden orange feathers and everything. And so I was quite pleased that I had the yarn, because it came with one of my Furls crochet hooks. They send yarn with each hook purchase, just a little skein of ice yarns, I think. I've never ordered from there, but I've gotten several skeins from Furls. And I put a little rattle inside with just one of those little junk, the things you put the quarter, the bubbles, plastic bubbles, you put the quarter in a machine, you get a ring. I put one of those inside here with some corn kernels, and then I glued and taped it shut and then stuffed it like normal. And I think that is just one of the best things that I've ever made. Toft Yarn, actually, Carrie Lord is the owner of Toft Yarn, and she wrote this book, Edward's Menagerie. This is the most amazing pattern book for little animals. I have made several of these. A little alpaca with blue skies alpaca yarn. Made it with just brown alpaca. Oh gosh, it's so soft. Look at his little hair. He's so cute. And then I made this with Red Heart Unforgettable Boutique colorway stained glass, a horse of a different color. And he's kind of floppy, and I sewed his arms a little too far back. They should be a little bit more, but you know, handmade with love. Here's a little kitty cat I made. There's a dog outside. My dogs, I'm surprised they're not barking. My husband thinks he looks like a mouse. I did this one with Georgia sock yarn. I really love that yellow. And then I did, oh no, it's not a dog, it's one of my chickens. And then I did this lion. His little whiskers are kind of messed up. Let me fix it. And then I did this lion with, his body is acrylic and his hair is wool. Madeline Tosh. I really love it. It's like fro-y. I mean, it's just the texture of it is just incredible. And they all came from this book. And it is so fun to work up these animals. And I've made quite a few. I'm not going to sit here and show you all of the ones I've made. But I really enjoy just how fast they work up. I'll do several of the legs and then a couple of the bodies and then some of the heads, and then I'll stitch them all together. And they're just a blast. I plan on donating those to either the Children's Hospital or maybe like a children's home. What kid wouldn't love a little cuddly animal? I've made my children plenty of them. Sorry, needed a sip. Do you like my mug? I'm a mug collector. I really love animal mugs, really any mugs, but especially animal mugs. I got this one last summer when we were on vacation down in South Texas. It's a little horned toad. I mean, isn't the detail on this incredible? I love him. I love him. Sorry about the mug shot. So, more yarn projects. Yes. Keep going. This is another hat that I'm working on for that same baby. This is going to be a little bit for when she's a little bit older. So she's due in September, and I'm thinking this will be good for winter through February, like December through February. Good for winter because it's nice and thick. This is Red Heart and Boutique Unforgettable and colorway Echo, and it is awesome stitch, front post and then crocodile. I think this came from the Moogly blog. I'm not real sure. It's on my Pinterest It is on my Pinterest, I do know that. And so all I like is to stitch up the back and to do the little 2 tabs. That's all. Like, why haven't I finished this? Why? I know, because I don't like this yarn. Okay, so you see, it's not really plied at all, and if you mess up or make a mistake, you cannot rip this back. It's ridiculous. It's a nightmare. I'm also working on a blanket for the same baby in the interlac. How do you say that? I think I'm saying it wrong. Interlac crochet. I really love the way this is working out. I just adore the colorway. Just smoky grays and greens and pinks, and it's girly without being, you know, your typical pastel pink colors. I really love it. And so those 2 things are nearly done. I mean, I probably can get them done in a day if I worked on just that. So who knows? Who knows if I will finish? What else? This is something that needs to be completely ripped out. What a bummer. I am working this pattern, which is the Harrison. Sorry about the glare. I have lots of windows in my living room, and it's pretty awful to not, the sun is going down. Okay, so you get the idea. And again, this is on my Pinterest so you can see a better picture of it. It's called the Harrison sweater, and it's out of the Love of Crochet Winter 2013 issue. And I started working this in Caron Simply Soft yarn. It squeaks. It hurts my hands to work with it. It like burns my hands. I know I'm being dramatic about the acrylic yarns, but I'm so uninspired by it. I started this on a road trip that my husband and I were taking, and I got distracted talking to him and had to rip it back on the decreases. See, this is the body of the back. So he's quite large. My husband is 260, 265 maybe, and like 6'2". He's 2 of me. I weigh half of what he weighs. So he's huge. He's huge. And it took me forever to do this, and I hate it. And I have some fleece that's black Shetland fleece that I think if I get good enough at spinning, I'll just spin that and make him this sweater. And it would be gorgeous. It would be gorgeous in that fleece. I think that would make up a really nice yarn. I love this stitch. It's a box weave, a basket weave stitch. And the texture is incredible. And it's a lot of fun to crochet, but I just really don't like this yarn. And I started to knit him a sweater with it too. The Mr. Darcy sweater, started to knit it. It's not good with that either. I just can't do anything with this yarn. If you love Caron Simply Soft, I'm not saying anything against you. If you love it, I love you. I love that you love it. I don't love it. Love that I don't love it. Okay, so here is another finished object that's a couple months old, but it goes with a couple of my other things I'm about to show you. So this is a hat that I made last summer, and I just love that stitch, how textured it is. This yarn came from our trip down to New Braunfels. We went to, I think it's called the Unraveled You, or I don't know. I'm not sure what the yarn store is called. It's in Groon. Beautiful yarn shop. Loved the people there. They were so helpful and so nice. And so I made this hat from the Crochet Neuro pattern book. This pattern book, if you love to crochet, you need this book, even if you don't love neuro yarn. I have a love-hate relationship with neuro yarn. Love it on the skein, hate working with it. It's got tons of little vegetable matter in it, little sticks, twigs. Working on this dress, this is neuro yarn. It was insane because I would have to rip out huge chunks of the thin, fine yarn because it was so knotted and messed up around vegetable matter. So as far as natural products go, neuro yarn's great because they only use natural fibers, but it's just not very good yarn. This yarn was actually, I can't remember the name of it. It's a wool silk blend. I loved working with it. It's super soft. It's worn really great. It's stretched just a little bit, which is a kind of a bummer. I wish I'd used a smaller hook, because you can see like how baggy it is now. But it's so warm. It's so warm and chunky, and it's light too. I guess the silk just doesn't make it as hot as some of my other wool hats that I have. And so as far as works in progress out of this book, these gloves I should be done with. Sorry again about the rattling. So you see, I've done one fingerless glove, and this is how much I like on the next. 2 rows. And this was Red Heart Unforgettable Boutique. Colorway stained glass again, just like with that little horse. And I just fell out of love with the yarn, and I just didn't want to work on them anymore. I really like the edging though. I think the edging's really nice. And I don't know, I should finish them. I should finish them. That way they can go in the gift box, because I don't like them. Why would I give something that I don't like though? See, that's why I only want to make things with nice yarn, because I only want to give things that I would actually wear. My dog just got onto my other dog because she does not want to play. Bo, lay down. Lay down. So that was also from this book, sorry, the gloves. And I did make these, and I gave them to somebody for Christmas. I would make everything in this book, and the pictures, I mean, are incredible. I'm all about pictures and beautiful pattern books, so let me show you. The next thing I'm working on is this sweater. And I bought the yarn that this sweater requested, that yarn. So mine should look just like that, basically. And it's here. Sorry about the crinkling. I just looked at a couple of bags on Etsy. I was corrected for saying Etsy at a yarn shop once. Do you say Etsy? Lots of people say Etsy. Why? Like, I say Etsy. If you say Etsy, that's great. I say what I want. I do what I want, Joey. So I'm a fan of South Park. I am a fan of randomly speaking out song lyrics and movie lyrics. So I'm sorry if you don't get my references. It's funny to me. Dave Chappelle reference. So here's my sweater. And I have a real problem with tension, and no matter what, I've been crocheting 14 years, and I still have a problem with tension. Like, this is the front and back panel, and I stopped halfway so I could start it and get the right amount of tension. And look, it's still like 2 inches bigger. I use the same hook, same yarn. I guess I tend to crochet really relaxed, and then when I'm really uptight too. And so, I don't know. I'm going to have to rip it back out. I do that a lot. I rip it back out and rework it. That's why I take so long on my projects. I'm a perfectionist. I say that, but if I make a mistake, I will keep going if it's not noticeable or if it's not a big deal. But something being 2 different sizes, that's a big deal. That's not what you want. So those are a bunch of my FOs. Here's another that has been languishing for 2 years, okay? I have a lot on this done. I'm basically nearly there. So this is a back panel. Let me put it the right way. A back panel, a sleeve, another sleeve that isn't sewn up yet, and a front panel, half of a front panel. So I got all of this done. I'm literally, like, I have one half of a front panel and a whole front panel, and then I was going to do a hood too. So I'm nearly done. I really am. However, when my daughter was putting on the sleeve a while back, she mentioned how itchy it was. So I stopped working on it, because why would I spend hours upon hours upon hours of labor on something my child is going to hang in the closet and never wear. Well, when I was cleaning out my craft room a few days ago, she saw it and she said, Mom, you know, I really want you to finish that so I can wear it for Halloween. I want to be a dragon girl or mermaid girl or whatever she wanted to be. I said, okay, but if I finish that, I really want you to wear it. I don't want to hear that it's itchy. I want you to wear it. She promised that she would. We'll see. I'll finish it, and if she doesn't wear it, she doesn't wear it. I'm not going to, like, take away her birthday or hold her over hot coals. Sip again. Sorry about that. Okay, so one more languishing or half unidentified, what did I say they were? UFOs? Unfinished objects, right. Oh, you know what? I'm going to wait till next time to show you that because I wanted to show you the sweater that I have. I'm creating a pattern from a sweater that I own, that I purchased. I bought a sweater, machine knitted sweater from a store, and I'm crocheting a sweater to replace it because I love the sweater. I'll just show it to you. I love the sweater, but it's just plain brown, and I'm rough on sweaters. I wear them a lot, and so I knew that it wasn't going to last me that long, and I wanted to crochet something. And that way I could say, oh, I made this, you know. I love to wear things I've made. And so here it is, and this is Red Heart Boutique Midnight, and the sweater is incredibly warm and heavy and dense, and I wanted to get the same yarn. So I looked at the tag, and I went yarn shopping, and I was surprised to find some Red Heart with the exact same blend as the sweater. And so the blend is 65% acrylic, 23% wool, 6% metallic, and 6% nylon. So it's the same as my sweater. Oh God, it's so gorgeous. Oh, sorry, the sun is coming, so. Oh, you see the sparkles? That actually help because the yarn has just a hint of sparkle, just a hint. So here's the whole back piece done. And what I basically did was I started with the ribbing, and I did it, and I held it against it until it looked like it was done. I have both of the sleeves done, except not sewed up, and they're nice and long for my lanky arms. Oh, that's not a sleeve. That's not a sleeve. That's part of the collar. So, and then, but the sleeve's in this pile. I'm not going to dig around. I have all my yarns, like, I stop in the middle. That way my tension's good, you know? I try to stop in the middle. So I did the front pieces when we were having company. I crocheted an entire front piece. And we were sitting there at the table. We had company. We were just chatting. And I did the decreases wrong. So I ripped it all out. And my friend just sat there, and his eyes grew big. And he's like, what are you doing? You just made that. My husband started laughing. And he's like, she always does that. Seriously. And I thought that was just hilarious that he was so upset. The friend who all of these baby items are for, same guy. So I just thought that was hilarious. And I'm going to move on to my WIPs, my work in progresses, very quickly, and then I'm going to get off of here because it's getting quite long. Sorry about that. Oh, my husband's home. Here are his birthday socks. I did this one. I knit this sock. This is why I wanted to learn how to knit socks. And I'm already I'm about to turn the heel on this one. I was so scared. This took me a week to knit because I set it down and I didn't want to do the heel. It was just so intimidating to me. And I started this on Sunday, it's Tuesday, and I'm going to turn the heel tonight and knit the foot tomorrow, and it's going to be done. I'm stoked. And I'm going to end it here and show you my other WIPs later because he's about to walk in. Thanks for watching, and I hope you join me for next time.